Hello, my name is Ariel Sharon, and today we will be discussing the role of the pancreas and the liver in regulating digestion. So before we get started, I would like to have an overview with you guys of what exactly the digestive system is. So the digestive system is used for breaking down food into nutrients. These nutrients then pass into the circulatory system where they are broken down and taken to where they are needed in the body. So the digestion process begins in your mouth when your saliva glands soften food, which is also helped by mechanical digestion, which is when your teeth plays a part in breaking down food. From that, the food goes into the esophagus and eventually down into the stomach and the small and large intestines where it is further broken down. So the pancreas. The pancreas plays a major role in digestion. It is located, as you see here, it is located kind of wedged behind your stomach. It is roughly the size of your hand. During digestion, your pancreas makes pancreatic juices called enzymes. These enzymes break down sugars, fats, and starches. The pancreas also helps your digestive system by making hormones. These are chemical messengers that travel through your blood. Pancreatic hormones help regulate your blood sugar levels and appetite. They also stimulate stomach acids and tell your stomach when to empty. So there are several pancreatic enzymes. Your pancreas creates natural juices called pancreatic enzymes to break down food. These juices travel through your pancreas via ducts. They empty into the upper part of your small intestines called the duodenum. Each day, your pancreas makes about 8 ounces of digestive juice filled with enzymes. So the first enzyme we have here is lipase. Lipase works with bile, which your liver produces, to break down fat in your diet. If you don't have enough lipase, your body will have trouble absorbing fat and the important fat-soluble vitamins such as vitamin A, D, E, and K. Symptoms of poor fat absorption includes diarrhea and fatty bowel movements. The next pancreatic enzyme we have here is protease. Protease works by breaking down proteins in your diet. It also helps protect you from germs that may live in your intestines, like certain bacteria and yeast. Undigested proteins can cause allergic reactions in some people. The next enzyme we have is amylase. Amylase helps break down starches into sugar, which your body can use for energy. If you don't have enough amylase, you may get diarrhea and have undigested carbohydrates floating around in your stomach. Okay, so what we have here is pancreatic hormones. Unlike enzymes that are released into your digestive system, hormones are released into your blood and carry messages to other parts of the digestive system. So what we have here first is insulin. Insulin is the hormone that helps your body use sugar for energy. Without insulin, your sugar levels rise in your blood and you develop diabetes. The next hormone we have is glucagon. Glucagon makes up about 20% of pancreatic hormones. Glucagon produces glucagon. If your blood sugar gets too low, glucagon helps raise it by sending a message to your liver to release stored sugar. The next hormone we have here is gastrin. Gastrin stimulates your stomach to make gastric acid. And last but not least, we have amylin, which helps control appetite and stomach emptying. Now here on the right of the screen, you will see a homeostatic sort of diagram of what happens when your blood glucose levels rise. Okay, so as we have here, the stimulus is the rise in blood glucose level. So what happens? Beta cells of the pancreas are stimulated to release insulin into the blood. Now, that insulin is then taken to the liver. The liver takes up that glucose and stores it as glycogen. So blood glucose level declines to a set point stimulus for insulin release to diminish. Then we have eventually we'll have our normal blood glucose level. So this is just an example of how insulin and the pancreas helps with homeostasis in the body. So the liver. The liver lies inferior to the diaphragm in the upper quadrant of the abdominal cavity and receives protection from the surrounding ribs. The liver is the largest gland in the body, weighing about 3 pounds in an adult. The liver plays a number of roles in metabolism and regulation. It has cholesterol synthesis, protein synthesis, hormone secretion, and dysfunctional or aged red blood cell destruction occurs here. The liver processes nutrients that are absorbed in the small intestines. So there are a number of functions that the liver has. So the liver secretes bile from hepatocytes that aid in fat digestion. Bile is a mixture secreted by the liver to accomplish the emulsification of lipids in the small intestines. The common hepatic duct takes bile made within the liver to the gallbladder for storage. The common bile duct then takes the bile from the gallbladder to the lumen of the small intestines. Bile salts act as detergents to make fat soluble during digestion and are made from bile acids. So as you can see, the liver has a number of important roles, I should say. But one thing I forgot to mention when I was speaking of the pancreas was the fact that the pancreas contains both types of secretory epithelium, endocrine and exocrine glands. So endocrine secretions come from clusters of cells called islets. Exocrine secretions come from lobules called acini. Ducts from the acini empty into the duodenum. Exocrine secretions include digestive enzymes and a watery solution of sodium bicarbonate ions into the duodenum. The secretion of the pancreatic juice is stimulated by secretin, CCK, and H+ ions in the duodenum. Endocrine secretions from the islets of the Langerhans include insulin and glucagon. Insulin, as we mentioned earlier, decreases blood glucose levels. Glucagon increases blood glucose levels, as we mentioned when we were discussing this homeostasis plot right here. So let's see. What I wanted to mention about the lipase was the fact that enzymatic fat digestion is carried out by the lipase. Lipases are unable to penetrate the bile salt coating created from intestinal emulsion. Fat digestion requires cholipase, which is another protein cofactor secreted by the pancreas. Cholipase displaces some bile salts, making the fat inside the bile salt coating available for lipase to digest. Phospholipids are then digested by pancreatic phospholipase, which is a free cholesterol, and it's not digested and is absorbed intact. So now that I've summed up pretty much what the liver and the pancreas do to aid in the role of digestion, I would like to go over a few questions with you guys to see what you guys learned exactly. So let's go here. Okay, so what we have here is a little worksheet that I created for you guys. Okay, so bile is produced by the liver, as we discussed, but it is stored in the gallbladder. So do you guys remember what's the digestive role of bile? Okay, so bile acts as a detergent to mechanically break up large fat masses into smaller ones for enzymatic digestion. Our next question we have here, number 3, the hormone responsible for causing the stomach to release pepsinogens, mucus, and hydrochloric acid is gastrin, which is located in your stomach. Number 4, match the following nutrients with their associated digestive enzymes. So proteins, what would go with proteins? It would be the pepsinogens. And lactose would be lactase, starch, amylase, fat, lipase, and nucleic acid would be nuclease. So the pancreas is a heterocrine gland because it can be both endocrine and exocrine, as I mentioned a few slides ago. Which cells in the pancreas make up insulin? As I also mentioned, it is the islet cells. What is the primary purpose of the liver? The primary purpose of the liver is to filter and detoxify blood. Number 8. What is the present? Blank is present in the posterior concavity of the diaphragm in the right upper part of the abdomen. As we mentioned, that is in fact the liver.